Hello and welcome back to another video. If you don't know me, my name is Lindie and I mostly talk about language learning. Today we are talking about how to get back into a language that you may have forgotten. First of all, I want to say it's okay to take a break. It's okay to forget a language or pause a language. There are so many YouTubers who are pushing these productive morning routines, pushing polyglot plans. I know I uploaded a polyglot plan myself, but I scheduled in rest days and apps that are pushing streaks, and we feel like we just need to be productive all of the time. But that's not the case. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break. For most of us, language learning is a hobby, and it's okay to take it slow. Nobody is going to judge you if you stop learning a language or if you put it on pause for a while. So that's my starting disclaimer before we get into how to get back into that language you took a pause on. The first thing is that not everything is forgotten. There is still some of the language stuck in your brain, especially if you've learned it for a long time and then took a long break. It's okay, and it will be possible for you to get back into that language. This is what happened with my French. I learned French for 12 years at school, and then I took a really long pause for about 7 years, and only now I'm getting back into it. But I'm easing back into it through passive learning, and a lot of these words and phrases that I know are popping up again, and I'm like, oh, I can actually understand this completely. So on that note, what is important to do is to ease into it slowly. You don't want to dive back into an advanced grammar book and throw yourself in the deep end again. By slowly easing into language, I mean passive learning. Reading a book, listening to a podcast, exposing yourself to listening as much as possible, seeing the language, hearing the language, trying to talk to people if you can, but don't dive back into advanced grammar just yet. That is just my personal opinion. You can do whatever you want, but I would not throw myself in the deep end like that. The next point is to review your notes. Maybe you do have language learning notes which are left from the time that you did study this language. Something that I like to do to review my notes is to just take my notebook after a few weeks or months and take a highlighter and go through the words and phrases that still have not solidified in my memory. I highlight those and I rewrite them on a new page and study them from there. Next tip is to find a tutor. I take lessons on Lingota, Italki, and Preply, so there's a ton of platforms you can use. I do have a discount code for Italki in the description if you want to get some $10 credit on, this is not sponsored, but look at the description. But getting a tutor is a really nice way to ease back into the language because it is a safe space. Your tutor is there to help you. They're not going to laugh at you. This is a space for you to slowly ease back into the language. A tutor is somebody who can help you re-jog, get your memory back for the language that you have, so to say, forgotten. Next thing is to have a conversation. It could help for you to get a language exchange partner. There are many apps out there where you can get a language exchange partner, or you can look up on meetup.com and see if there are language exchanges in person in your area. Make sure that you and the person are on good speaking terms, in terms of saying that I want to practice this language, I can help you practice that one, or I'm going to talk for 15 minutes in this language and then we switch to 15 minutes in that language. But the point is to get you talking. And the reason this is important from my experience is that this is how I learned most of my Spanish. I never really used a textbook for my Spanish. I probably am not really great at the tenses, but I can converse pretty well because every single Saturday when I lived in Singapore, I went to Sábado de Español, which is Spanish Saturday, where you practice Spanish with other native speakers and other learners. And just speaking to people was a great way for me to learn, and I'm sure it's a great way for you to get back into a language as well. Next, read as much as you can. There are graded readers. I have some of them on my Amazon store. If you look in my bio. I think my Amazon store is there. And I have a list of graded readers, especially the series by Ollie Richards. I highly recommend you get into reading. So what's good about those books is that they have vocabulary for you that you can check at the end of reading something, and you can learn some new words from there. Just ease back into the language through books. And finally, break up your language learning into small goals. Don't start with a huge lofty goal of, I want to reach level C1 in this language again. Break it up into smaller parts and say, what is my ultimate goal? Let's say it's to reach level C1. Okay, what is the goal below that? It's to be able to take the CFR or DELF exam for French, for instance. What can I do below that, under that? Okay, I can study for 6 months for the exam. How can I break that down even more? I need to set up a monthly study plan. How do I break that up even more into weekly and then daily? What can I do every single day that will contribute to me reaching my ultimate goals? Break your goals up into smaller pieces. Don't have really lofty, high goals that are unachievable. Set smart goals. I do have another video on setting goals that you can look for. I think it's called Mistakes in Goal Setting, or How to Rethink Your Language Learning Goals. I also have a video on listening practice, how to get better at listening in the language. And I also have a video about how to have a successful language exchange. So these are all extra videos that you can search for on my channel that should be helpful. If you prefer reading, this entire video is available in a blog post format. If you go to lindiebuetis.com, you'll find it on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!